So last week I made a digital product, and today we're going to be making a fully functioning sales funnel from scratch as cheap as possible. So anyone can replicate this and anyone can try and start selling their first digital products through a funnel ASAP with as little cost as possible. Let's get into it. So let's get into it. Sales funnel. What is it? How does it look like? Basic sales funnel is a way for you to bring a prospect from awareness 0 to purchase. First is awareness. This is, like I said, when the person just doesn't know about you, doesn't know about your product. So first thing you do, gonna get your eyeballs on the product. From awareness, you're gonna use organic reels, TikTok, shorts, paid ads, different kind of marketing strategies that kind of get people's eyes on the thing. Next step, once it's something that one person is interested, you want to lead it to some kind of action. And your goal is to generate a way to communicate with your prospect one-on-one, relying on organic reels, TikTok shorts, paid ads. Basically, you have no control. You have no one-on-one communication with the prospect. If he sees your shorts, he sees your shorts. If he sees your paid ads, even if he's interested, you can't really engage in the next level. That's where email campaigns comes in, and you'll get in their emails using lead magnets, which is a free or often really cheap kind of product that you can offer him as a way into the funnel. You have a way to communicate with this prospect one-on-one and thus grow their interest to a point where they're actually in the consideration stage where your sales page comes in. Basically in your email campaigns, or maybe right after you already produce the lead through lead magnet, you lead him to a sales page. Another really powerful thing you can do after this step is you can validate the prospect. Validating a prospect is really powerful. Hey, sorry, bro, you're not, you're not what we're looking for. But judging by your answers, you might find this, that, X, Y, and Z interesting. So here's some more value, and maybe eventually with the new value you provide, they become a prospect that can actually manage the big product. That's the idea. And if you validate the prospect, it gives more kind of pressure, or let's say weight, to your offer. Last is purchase. After purchase, the whole nature of it is just onboarding and nurture. You want to keep a check with your clients. You're going to have some feedback back and forth, just so you know how your product is doing and how to improve. But that's the whole funnel. And, don't take it from me. Everyone does it. If you go to Instagram and look up Alex Ramosi, good example. He promotes the same thing. He shows the same thing. If you go to his link, you're probably going to find a lead magnet. Here we go. Launch. Oh, there we go. Free pass to an event. You're going to sign up to an event. You have foot in the door, and there's going to probably offer some more probably his books to you after you have showed interest. Maybe he's going to validate you. He's going to say, hey, there's this one-on-one coaching program. Are you a good fit? If you're not, hey, different offers, different things we can offer you. If you are, that's cool. We're gonna be creating a sales page for our info product or digital product we made last video. Here it is, our Focus HQ. We developed this last video. Check it out if you want. Basically used our AI just to come up with it, and I just copy pasted a bunch of things, and we came up with this really cool product. We're just selling my little empathic advisor, basically a prompt, but here I also sell different ways to implement this to more advanced levels, and finally have maybe a chatbot that I use myself on Telegram, where I can communicate it one-on-one, also with added kind of reminders and prompts for me to engage with it each day, which is really the game changer here. We have a bunch of different stages to our product, right? We have our empathic advisor, which is going to be the main thing. We also have this little dashboard, Focus HQ, where a person is basically a really basic task management dashboard. And we also have a prompt acting agents, which has a guide on how to create agents, how to create good, prompts, and how to structure them, and also a bunch of business advisors, journaling mentors, workout coach, and dietitian. So what you can do is, if you have a product like this that I built out, you can take a part of it, a snippet of it, and use that as the lead magnet, which we're going to be using here. I actually separated out. I'm going to be using our prompt pack and agents. And the idea is that in this prompt pack and agents, I reference the bigger picture, the bigger product as a upgrade to this. Because basically they have this prompt, they have a bunch of prompts, they have a guide on how to create prompts. But hey, how do I make the best out of using my prompts? This is going to be here on our Empathic Advisor setup guide, where we have different kind of levels on how a prompt can be used to its full extent, all the way to this kind of custom Telegram bot, which has also a daily reminder built in, which is really cool. First thing, awareness, organic reels, TikTok shorts, and paid ads. How we're going to be using this. I already have a channel, Discipline Egg, it's called, with 48 followers, really modest. I use this as a dump to test out my automatically made leads. It wasn't really successful. That's fine. Let's try and revive this. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But there's two options. We're going to be trying making good reels and posting them. And we're going to be trying to see maybe it revives the channel. And the alternative, we're also going to be just running ads and seeing which works. So that's the first move. We have our Discipline Egg channels. Let's add that here. After a person signs up for a lead magnet, how we're going to be contacting him, we're going to be using a site called Brevo. It's an email campaign tool, in my opinion, one of the best. And then also the free plan, why I'm going to be using here, because we're going to be making this dirt cheap. And here we have 300 emails each month to send out for free. And at that point, if you're sending out 300 emails, hey, you're doing something right. You probably already have some money coming in. Then you can afford a bigger plan if you need be. And lastly, the sales page, the whole thing, we're going to build out on a site called Card. Basically, when building out a sales funnel, you have so many options, right? All the big email tools are using sales funnels. I think in Brevo, you can also make a sales funnel, customized page. I think that's the one. Shopify is also a way to build out a kind of purchase situation. It's really good for e-commerce. And if you're selling a digital product, it's really going to be nice. In a way, it's going to automate a lot of your sales things. Going to take care of a lot of things. Salesforce is a move. Keep is a move. ClickFunnels, obviously a big one, right? MailChimp, Pipedrive, CRMs. I see some of them have built-in probably sales funnel situations. There might be just the promoting. But for example, if you go to ClickFunnels, which is the big one, you go to pricing, obviously they're going to be tailored to creating funnels. They're going to be way better at making funnels. It's going to be probably easier, probably faster, and with way more functions. But it's going to cost you $80 a month. A lot, right? And we're trying to validate this idea. We're not trying to invest $80 a month if we still don't know if we actually are going to be making sales. But what I'm going to be using is a site called Card. This is a website builder. It's meant for one-page, most often used for these landing pages, portfolio pages, and calling card pages, right? But we're going to be using this to build out a sales page, which is completely doable. Even though it does have limited functions, I think it does the job. See that it's $19 a year. That's crazy cheap. The Pro Lite is $9 a year, but in our case, we're going to be needing forms. We're going to collect the person's data for the lead magnet. Widgets we're not going to really need. Embeds we're going to need. If we're running ads, we want a way to integrate the pixel into the site, which is going to be needed. And embeds is a way to do this. Google Analytics also obviously something we can track our performance and stuff. Meta tags for SEO and local fonts. Not really. Next thing, if we go back to the purchase, how we're going to be actually collecting money. In our case, because Card doesn't have an integrated payment processing kind of place, we're going to be just directly taking our clients to our Stripe, and we're going to be just creating a product. So let's hop into it. First things first, you go to, when you get your account in Card, you're going to go to Card and you're going to be choosing a starting point. And here we have a bunch of different options for you to choose. Just pick a style, pick a mood you like, and you can customize a lot. But realistically, you're going to just check out and find a page that you like the style with. But also if you click, for example, demo, you can see kind of some preset options you're going to have if you choose this template. For example, if you like this kind of style, which has this kind of full bleed situation going on with images, this is going to be a good situation for you. But I chose this template as a starting point just because I like the bold text, I like the font, I like the big letters, minimalistic, clean. It kind of feels like it fits the aesthetic, but we'll see how it goes. This is the template. Once you open it, to change stuff, really simple. Just click on places, and here you can just change. You can go to this tab, change the colors and the sizes and everything. A little tip here, if you have these presets here. So for example, if I click on text, I can choose kind of a style I have. If you change one, you kind of change everything for the whole site that uses this preset. So if you kind of want to only one specific text to follow a simple style, add style here and do that. Anyways, let's move on and see how do we figure out what kind of content to add to our site. If we go to ChatGPT, in our last video, we explored this really cool way on using ChatGPTs. We use system prompt generator to generate this custom prompt for kind of different agents, let's say, we use for our any needs. In our last video, we used this agent that's specifically tailored to creating businesses, to creating our product, right? To creating our product. This agent is really already trained on creating the disciplinary product and knows what's going on. But I have a separate agent that's specifically trained to build our website. So when I'm going to be using this to, say basically, I want to build a sales funnel for card, use Brevo for emails. And I'm going to say the other agent is trained on creating one-page websites and brands. You just must go run down on what we need for a business perspective and also context about product. So the sales agent can make. So he gave a bunch of stuff, I can't really copy paste this. So I'm going to say info in a single markdown prompt so I can give our website to the website builder. And here we have a cool markdown prompt about all the things we need. I'm going to copy this. Go back to our website developer, which is a agent I specifically made for creating websites. So I have this system instructions that says basically, hey, you're a one-page website builder and branding. Once again, I'm probably going to copy paste this and show you in the down below. I'm going to have a reference. Also added a one-page websites and branding PDF. I used Gemini to basically create a extensive report. So we're going to copy in the things we need. So this is what he came up with. I'm going to be doing a bit differently. I love how he gave the structure. I see it kind of promoting our lead magnet as a thing. But we're not gonna do that. Here's a little prompt. Let's make the main sales page about the full product, have the separate section for our lead magnet with the opt-in. To opt-in form. Then also a separate section to join the waiting list if we promote the product before launch. Let's go with that. Let's see what he comes up with. So yeah, let's review what he came up with. Now, once we have a structure we like, we simply, once again, just like last video, we divide and conquer. Let's do the copywriting in one section at a time, move on to the next section only when I approve the last. Now let's go with that. And that's how I found this game changer. You always want to break it down as much as possible. Because the bigger the task, the more kind of feathery it gets, the more kind of all over the place it gets. You really want to narrow in on any kind of tasks, ask him. That's why also when I make any kind of AI automation or any kind of, I always try and break down the task as much as possible and really give separate tasks to separate agents. That's the whole point where we have a separate website agent instead of just clopping the chat for our business advisor. So section 1, hero, product, pre-heading. So yeah, I'm just going to go and play around with it. I'm going to show you what I come up with. I'm going to leave all the images for later and just place in the whole kind of, structure. It's another day. Let's keep going. So basically, I already started building this out and I just wanted to share some tips when using Card to build, anything really. I basically changed the whole setup so it's more centered. For alignment, for example, we can center that. We can do it everything lowercase, everything uppercase, lines to the text as well. Same thing. Drop shadows. So a lot of things to play around with. So another thing I can show you is how to do these kind of highlights and these underscores. So to basically, in my headline, I use this little two equal signs before and after the text I want to highlight, and I can do these highlights. You can basically see all the different functions here. If you want bullet points like this, you go to add list, for example, right? Then you can go to just list different items by pressing enter and writing in a new item, right? If you do multiple times, you can see it works like this. It's really cool. Basically what happened, I had the default style here and then I added a new style, which is good. Here I should probably change this to bad, right? But whatever. So I can have multiple styles which have different colors to the bullet points, for example. Okay, let's check out what I came up with. The logic behind it and all, just so you give you more context. Basically, I just followed all the copywriting that the AI guy gave me for the most part, But I did correct him a bunch in when I writing this, and this is how you're supposed to use these AI tools, right? Once again, I want to showcase the fact that you don't actually want to just follow everything blindly. You kind of guide it. You're the guide. You're the leader in this interaction. He's the tool. A lot of sales funnels follow the same structure. When at first we're gonna add a video here. I'm gonna record this after. It's gonna be a Loom video, like I'm recording now. Just open up Loom. If you don't know what Loom is, Google it. Highly recommend it. It is a paid situation thing. It's like $25 a month for full-length videos. But if you can squeeze out a video under 5 minutes, you can use that. But if you had the pay version, you can download the videos as well. Using OBS Studio, that's free. Download the studio, record it. You're gonna need a webcam. It's gonna be a bit more difficult, but it's a free option. Highly recommend it. So I'm gonna have a Loom video here, just going over not specifically the product, but the whole story behind the product. So what you want to understand about making a sales funnel, stories sell. That's the idea. We humans, we're story animals. So you're kind of building out a story here, and a simple video at the beginning of your funnel, going through that story, basically your life story, the struggle, how you overcame it, what other roadblocks you chose, maybe what other tools you tried, what didn't work, right? Then you came across this tool, you tried it out, you had an idea, you tweaked it a bit, boom, results. That's the basic structure, right? Then after that, once again, showcase the transformation. The whole human psyche is built on transformations. You want to use the language of the customer if you can. Obviously, I'm the customer in this case because I made the project for myself and I'm trying to sell it. So you kind of have to use the same language you use with yourself if you have a situation like this. So lost, stressed, out of time. That's a big one for me. Before I used the tool, felt out of time a lot of days. And then after just 7 days of the Empathic Advisor, obviously I also used this little hack here that scratched out almost instantly. I'm just gonna add it 1 day, wherever. The faster, the better. Realistically, you gotta be honest here, right? Because otherwise, the person will be really disgruntled. But in this case, the product that I'm selling is the Telegram bot I use. Realistically, you can add this to your Chat GPT. Start chatting with it, and it's instant. It's 2 minutes. Okay, let's say 1 day, whatever. But you gotta be creative. I could really play around with this. I could figure something else out, maybe a bit more catchy. So and then you have a button that goes to, we're going to add this layer to the product. But then let's go down. After that, after we have this kind of breakdown of before and afters, I'm going to add images there, before and after. I'm going to show you how I came up with that, but it's going to be simple. It's just going to be screenshots from Toggle, right? Because I use Toggle to track everything I do. And so it's really simple for this product. All I have to do is just go back in time and find a good period to showcase the effectiveness of the product. And that's that. So I'm going to add images like before and after images. Here, Meet Empathic Advisor. Here we're going to create a product image. This is going to be here, and that's going to be the next thing we're going to hop into, showcasing the pain point, and then a breakdown of what's included. This is a good use case for this because I have a bunch of stuff that I'm going to be adding to the product, right? We have our Empathic Advisor, Focus HQ, right? Prompt Packing Agents, and all this has value. For Prompt Packing Agents, that's something we can actually kind of assess the value of, kind of really know, but but this is all made up, right? And I have a little interesting note here. I made this up. I made these prices up. Sometimes it's really beneficial to just be honest and be fun with it, right? This is a first product. If you have reviews on the product, amazing. Just plop those in here, right? This is where it's at. But if you can't find reviews, you can send it to your buddies. You can send it to anyone, really, just real people. Find someone, showcase the product, have them use it. If they like it, add a review. Like, that's how you get them. You just ask for them. But in this case, because we're doing a video here and I'm not going to be promoting this product to any of my friends or anything like that, I could, but I'm just going to add this path just to showcase. If you're creative, you can think a bunch of stuff up. And let's see if this works. I'm not actually confident, but I just added, hey, this is the first case study. It's like kind of a beta founder situation, early bird case, right? It's like, hey, you could be one of these first good reviews, right? So now also what I just added here is this little embed thing. So add, then choose embed. It's going to have this little code option here. And you can add code to embed right over here. So website, I used HTML countdown timer embed widget. Very simple, really. You have the option here of choosing your time zone, choosing a date and time you want this countdown to happen. So change a bunch of settings here. And all you got to do is just use embed your website, bam, copy this, paste that, and you get yourself an embedded timer. So it's really, really convenient. Also, a good thing to add to a funnel, just this, the reality of it is, typically a person is scrolling through your funnel and he's thinking of ways, but he's thinking of things, he's just having questions, right? He's uncertain. You want to kind of help with the uncertainty. So that's why things like case studies really helps, right? Reviews and stuff. We don't have those. Let's see how it goes. I don't know. It might suck. But realistically, a person comes like, what is this? Okay, he needs information on how, have a little simple 3-step check mark. Hey, this is going to happen after you buy. He needs certainty. The more certainty you can bring to the sales page, the better. He's in the consideration stage right now. If he's in your sales page, that's the consideration stage. And you need to think like, hey, what questions I could answer for the person to be happy to buy. So the last thing I want to showcase is the lead funnel. This is going to be a case where we're probably going to add this to our social media. So anytime somebody actually goes directly from our social media page, if we're doing organic content or organic kind of traffic, we want to add them to the a lead magnet. We want to lead them to a lead magnet instead of the whole sales page, right? Because they just saw you for the first time. If they're from organic, it's more important that you develop these relationships than it is that you just peddle something. So offering a free stuff in your bio, in your comments, anything, you set up a video, say, hey, comment prompt for a free prompt pack or something. And then you can add this. The person will get value. The person will develop a relationship with you. You will have a one-on-one connection through their email so you can promote your future products or just add more value to the person. And then after that, when you secured a lead in your pipeline, you can then slowly trickle in other offers, including the one you're making here. But the key behind a good lead funnel page is just bold, direct, simple, and as little as possible, right? By the way, also a pro tip that I didn't cover is if you're using card, you use a section break. If you add here, there's control, then you add control, you have this little thing and you can change if it's a scroll point, footer marker, header marker, section break. You want to use section break, divvy up your sections. And at the very bottom, I also have divvied up the privacy policy and the terms of service. If you're interested on how to create terms of service, bro, same old. You once again just open up Chat GPT. I didn't even create a full-on agent for this. I think I just created a new chat and said, hey, please develop me a terms of service. One thing you do when I'm writing these out, the prompts, I say, hey, can you ask me all the questions you would need for you to create a good terms of service in this country, for example, right? So to publish your page, you're going to go to the save button here, publish. It's going to open up this window. You're going to need to add a title and description. I'm going to delete this copy here because this shows up into search engines if somebody Googles you. And then you can either publish to your card site, which is completely fine. Really, it is, it's not going to be as professional, but if you're starting off, you don't want to buy a domain, that's fine. Or you can publish to your custom domain. If you publish to your custom domain, you need to add these two things to your DNS field. I'm going to show you how that works. So as an example, I'm right now in my Namecheap account. Any kind of domain service, GoDaddy, Namecheap, domains.com, anything will have a really similar structure. You're going to go to your domain list, find the domain you want to, for example, fix my workflow here. Usually might be just the regular DNS, manage settings or something like that. Depends on the service you use. Add new record, right? You're just going to follow the suggestions here. You're just going to add the records. I'm not, because I already did that on my discipline domain. So I'm going to do that later. I'm just going to publish changes just to see how it works. And then we're going to hop into creating the images. So yeah, once the page is published, you can click this button to check it out. This is your done page. We're going to add a video here. See all these cool animations and stuff as well. It's nice. These don't have animations. I might look at that. See, this is our countdown timer, which is cool. So last thing I want to talk about is the forms. So if we go down, so the last thing I want to talk about is forms. So when we add a form here, I can show you how it works. You go to forms, you have different options you can add. You can have a contact form, a sign-up form, right, with your name and email. I could add a name here, but I just want an email for it to be as seamless as possible. And then once you're in the form, you can sign up. For example, the sign-up form, choose different kind of mail email tool you want. I'm obviously using Brevo, so I'm going to be using via Brevo. So once you click your name here, BM optimized for me, there's options for SMTP and API. Click that. And then once you're in these things, you go to API keys and you can create different kind of API keys here. I have a bunch, including the card, email, or the focus bundle. So basically create a new API key, you name it, and then it's going to show you the thing you want to copy. Once again, don't share this for anyone. It's confidential. Generate. Then it's going to add UE. You copy that, close that. Then you go back and you add your API key here. And then you also need a list ID for the list you want to add your clients to. So once again, we go back. So you click contacts on the left-hand side, lists. You're going to have all of your lists. And then if you go to a specific, you see the number here right away. So here you see the IDs from your list. So you create a new list. For example, let's say the lead magnet, like this. Select folder, wherever, marketing automations, I guess. Create list. That's going to create a new list here. Display, yeah, and that's ID 9. So you're going to go back here and just select on the form your ID, list ID to 9. And now that's going to update a list. Next thing you add in Brevo is you go to automations. So once automations opens up, you can create a new automation from scratch. Create from scratch. You're gonna choose a starting port, contact added to list, exactly the one we need. Select lists. You want marketing automations. You're gonna choose the one you just made, this one. Then save. Then you want the action to be actions. You go down and send an email. So now it will need you to select a template. So you do that, you select a template. Once again, how you do this is if we create from scratch, drag and drop editor, simple editor, you can do custom code, for example. You can then go to your ChatGPT friendly. One sec. Go to your ChatGPT and say now. So this is what I tell it. Hey, now create an HTML email with minimal design elements, simple and direct. The email will be a product delivery email for the client. Sign up to lead 9 for now. It's going to think. So this is it. I'm just going to copy this whole thing. We're going to go back to Brevo. Paste that in. Second. Yeah, I just press save and now you can see the preview. It's going to look like this. Exactly what we need. We're going to add, we're going to change this. Edit design. So yeah, when you press preview here, it doesn't show, it's annoying. But so when you paste this, you're going to go through it, just a few things. For example, here, when we're adding the first name there shouldn't be that. I'm just going to add first name. And the link, this is a link that will lead to our Stripe page, right? To our product page. We're going to add that a bit later. And here's the product link for the specific product we want to, the lead magnet. So we go to Notion. I copied our prompt pack here, our prompt pack in Agents Tester. This is going to be a lead magnet situation. And once again, in the top right corner, you're going to say this share button, publish. Then here we can have this link. We're going to copy site link. And also you want to make sure the duplicate template is checked. So now this is live and accessible to anyone with the link. We're going to go down and we're going to paste this link in here. So we add the link here. So basically this automation is very simple. We're going to go in depth on how to further automate the reach out process for anyone in this list, to upsell our main product. But right now, this is what we're going to be remaining in this video. So it's simple. Anytime a contact is added, we have this email here. This is how it's going to look. Let's preview it. So it's really nice. This blank, your prompt is ready. Hi, nice delivery email. Super. PS, one empathic is also a little upsell here, and unsubscribe anytime, of course. So now we go the subject line. Let's ask our guy also the subject. Add the subject. Did you need anything else here? No, just the subject line as well. Is it here maybe already? Give me a subject. I'm not gonna think. You could think about it yourself, obviously, but I'm so far gone. One thing, I would want a new email here. I'm just using the one in my account, but honestly, I kind of want to have it for your personal domain. I'm gonna be using this one though. I'm paying for too much emails, so here's a subject. Let's add that. Your, not our. Your prompt tag is ready. Start your print now. Perfect. So let's save that. And now we're done with this automation. Let's go back. We have this. Last thing we're remaining is to add the images here. So let's start with our before and after one. So this is all about creating a transformation. So you want to have some kind of proof. You want to have some kind of before and after situation going on. It's going to be really simple for me because I'm using Toggle to track my daily tasks. All I'm going to do is go to, if I'm using Toggle, go to reports, and I'm just going to scroll back to a period I find interesting. So I'm going to be using specifically, I feel like a really good period is these two, because this is the spike at the very beginning. It's also been kind of accurate if somebody actually uses my product like so, because it's going to give the first initial spike at the beginning as well. So yeah, I'm just going to figure these kind of periods for a 2-week period here and a 2-week period here, and let's see, and just make screenshots. So this is it. These are the screenshots. Let's go into Canva. Let's go just create, I guess. So let's add text box, very simple. Before, we're going to add we're going to center that. We're going to make this red. And then we're also going to highlight this average hour situation. So we're going to look for elements. Okay, let's do that. That's like pretty much it. I'm just going to do export with this. You can do this with I have the free version, so it's completely fine. And I'm also going to do this within after with the other image as well. And then we're getting these images to our website. So here, simply add image. Then you push that to container you like. We do upload. We're going to see the ones we just made. We're going to crop this a bit even more. We're going to do this and do accept. So now you want to kind of adjust the height of it so it's everything. Like that. Then you want to copy this. And then the other one, just change the image. Edit. And change the image to the other one. Once again, change this. So it's accept. Like that. That's pretty fine. I think that's good. Now let's go down. One thing we also want to add is so now the last one we want to make is a product image, and that's also the last thing we really need for us to create a product on Stripe. Like just a mockup. I think but iPhone mockup, tablet mockup, something like that. Just delete this. But another really simple way to create this is just by creating shapes, right? It's not going to have these buttons here, but you can just create shapes and create mockups. If we go to our prompt pack, Notion template. Okay, what I can do is open this, actually, just view site, open this on a browser. Yeah, because now I can change and alter the size of the template a bit. Go for a big chunk like this. Just here, upload files, I guess. Did not work like that. So now you copy and paste the same image. You squeeze one image to just below the headline. And now we can press edit here. It's going to have all the options. We go down, we find the FX filter, and you choose blur. And then we're going to do whole image intensity. Let's bring it to like this. Yeah, like this. And then go back. And then we have a effect like this. So now we are on our website. We just add a image. It went all the way down. That's fine. Let's just scroll again up. Image, upload. You upload the same image you just made. Here we go. You can crop that out even. I use this Chat GPT to generate prompts for Midjourney. I have Midjourney, but you can just use DALL-E. And I basically just played around with it a bunch until I came across this kind of result. I think I kind of like this, so I just download that image. Once again, we're going to be using the same template. This time we're going to be adding the new image here. Another cool thing you can do, you can simply download the image here. Then take the same image, put that back in our canvas here. So I have our image here, fit that to match, make sure it doesn't actually go into the folder there. Fit that to match. Now we can just crop out all the excess thing. And now we can use this to have this over the same image. So next thing, so now let's go back to our product in Notion. Do the same thing as we go to the browser version. And then we're going to be using the snipping tool to create. Different. And then we're going to be using different screenshots of the product from each page to add to our product, image. Just simply go to each page of your product, kind of different views of your product, anything that works, and just make screenshots. And we're back here, and we're going to drag our screenshots into Canva. And then you can crop them out a bit more, maybe, and spin them. Just, position them. Also, right-click and go to layer send backwards. And now it's behind our main product cover. Now, this is kind of how it looks after adding the images, and then you simply had a heading and a cover title like this, and then also a subheading. And so once again we're back to card. Just add a image here, and we're going to drag that here and add our newly created cover photo right here. Simply, now we're going to be using everything. I want to crop this just a bit better because height needs to be low. So the last part of this tutorial, let's call it, is adding your product to Stripe. So yeah, we're in Stripe, the Stripe dashboard setup guide. Basically go through the whole setup guide for any kind of situations. It's going to get you up and running for you to collect money using Stripe. Anyways, if you're selling anything online, you already have this. You should. It's kind of the go-to way to set up payments, and I'm not going to go into in-depth how to set up a Stripe account, but I'm going to show you how to make a product. So basically, we're in Stripe. We're going to go to product catalog, and here we're going to create product. We're going to call this. So here on the description, let's add this image. Here we can add our image we just created. Here it is. Electronically supplied services, that's fine. Recurring one-off. The price we're going to add, so it's going to be $28.54. Add product. So now we have the product ready. We have it ready, and we can now officially sell it. All we need is a link on this product. So we're going to go to payment links. We're going to add new link. We're going to find the product, Empathic Advisor. So that's it. And let's just create link. And boom, now we're ready. The payment link is ready to go. We can just copy this, test it out real quick. So this is where the link leads. Now in our website, we can simply go to all the buttons we used that would want to lead to our payment link. And also don't forget to go back to your email and edit the template to add your new link. We're going to add the sales link directly to the email, just because if the client already got, let's just try and streamline that and just go to the. So that's it. Our site is mostly done. One thing I would like to add though is a video in the header. That's a hero section video is a big one for, funnels. One thing I forgot to add is a link here, but I'm going to add that later. So that's basically the gist of it. Publish your website and promote it. That's the basic funnel structure. Hope this helped. Bye-bye.